Can I show you? Can I show a workflow that I use with groups as well?
Yeah, sure.
So let's see here. So here's just a bunch of empty tracks here, and I've got them color coded because pretty. And I'm going to go ahead and just create the one group that I don't have created here is this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and create my drums group really quickly here. So Command G. I'm going to call that drum. Oops. Let's type this like an actual person. There we go. And I'm going to call that group D. And it's open for me. Great, fantastic. So now what I've got is I've got all of the main groups. So I've got my drums here. I've got my guitars and all that. And one of the things that you can do now that you've created groups, creating groups is not just so that you can do this, do things to all the tracks. That's the primary thing. But there's so much more that you can do. For example, if I wanted to select all the key tracks at the same time, if I click in the area to the immediate left of the letter, you'll see here I can select all the tracks that are members of that group. And then here, if I go to group 1, which is a different thing, let's see, I'll go ahead and, we'll just rename this puppy real quick because you'll see why in just a second. Call that mix. There we go. And so if I wanted to select my guitars, I could go ahead and click this. And so it allows me to select the tracks in a group to make whatever changes that I want. Now notice that selecting the members of the group does not require that group to be active. Okay, so the guitar group right now has a dot right by it which says that all the members of that track and no others are selected, right? And that guitar group is inactive at this point, but it does allow me to do some other things. Now the other thing that I can do with this has gotten a lot of oohs and ahs, because folks, I think, sometimes don't think quite as unconventionally about groups as perhaps I do sometimes. So if I have a session that has a whole lot of tracks, I find myself doing this kind of scrolling work all the time, and I detest it. So one of the things that setting up groups will let you do is if you hold down the Control key and click on the name of a group, it will show only the members of that group. So, and this is part of the reason why I color code this. So, for example, now if I hit keys, now it shows only the keys. If I go ahead and click Vox, it shows only the vocals. And so, with a very little amount of real estate, I can show and hide individual groups, and it gives me instead of having a mixer that goes left to right, it's almost like having a layered mixer, so I can go deeper into the mix. And if I hold down the shift key, I can show my stems. So for example, let's say I want to show my stems. I'm going to hold down Control. Those are all the stems, the submixes of those groups. And if I want to show my main output, which is my mix group, Shift Control will show that in addition without hiding the others. So if I wanted to see my mix and my stems and keyboards, I can show my keyboards that jump in there real quick, and then I click them again and they're gone, and I can check other parts of my mix. And I can use have a mix of 100 tracks, but have a mix window that shows me very little more than what you're seeing right here. And that's, for me, sometimes that's the most useful part of creating a group.
I'm so glad you went there, because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about next. So awesome stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry I took your thing.
Yeah, but I mean that's great for the mix window. That's just awesome. But it's equally awesome in the edit window, I think, where you can show and hide your tracks, so that editing goes a lot smoother. And exactly as Andy does now, I don't even switch on the groups a lot of the time. I will just use groups that I've created to show and hide stuff very, very quickly, which of course you can do using other functions in Pro Tools as well. But this is just a very, very fast way to do it.
This is the thing that somebody was asking for recently, in that I wish Pro Tools could do this. Can Avid put this in, please? And there you go, another feature request of something that's already in there.
And has been for ages, by the way.
So here's, and you're 100% right, 0% wrong, that this is super useful in the edit window, because it allows for the edit window to show more. So here's another shortcut that I can't live without. Control Option Command, which I call Power Claw, but you can call it anything you want. Control Option Command on a Mac computer, it is Control Alt Start on a PC, and either the up or down arrow will readjust the height of the tracks to fit the available space in the edit window. Or it would. Is it not doing that? There we go. And so now what I can do is, because I'm only showing the members of this group, I can afford to give this a little bit of room to breathe, right? And I, for audio, I could see the waveforms in greater detail. And then if I go over here to vocals, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Just real quickly pop it, and there. So it's Power Claw, and the down arrow is doing it for me. And then if I go over here to my vocals, show my vocals here. Come on.